All right, let's get started. My name is Jared. I am 25 years old. I have a wife. I have a beautiful dog, and uh, and I live in the United States. This is Talk and Talk Immersion. I'll be hosting. I am a student, not a teacher, and I'm not a teacher. For anyone that's watching on YouTube. All right. Well, Marcel, would you like to introduce yourself? I think you muted yourself.
I am muted. Sorry. Okay, my name is Marcelo. I am Brazilian. I live in Rio. I am an entrepreneur. I run three businesses, different kind of businesses. So I have uh, two sons. They are already adults. Gabriel and Bruno. They are 29 and 30. They have their own businesses also. Uh, I I am married. In my house, I have three dogs, three pets. Actually, I have a lot of skills. I've been in a lot of universities. That's not because I am good. That's because I am old. I am 60. I am 65. So I just complete 65 last week. So
Oh, happy late
uh,
birthday.
yeah, thank you very much, Jared. And in my free time, I don't like to say that in free time. Free time is is something that it's so subjective. Free time, I like to read some books about philosophies and biographies also, and well, TV, some series streaming, and um, I've been in YouTube sometimes to look for something interesting and about history. I love history also, and that's it. Let's go to the chat, and it's nice to be here with you, Jared.
It's good to be with you again. Welcome back for another one with me. It's great. Well, I would like for everyone to know that I noticed this immersion because of I've noticed that there's a common trend that there's uh, for like books and services. I mean, for like even like a book or ebook, you don't. It seems like you don't actually own the book. You're only renting it from like their servers. For example, on the Kindle, you don't actually get to keep it. So I thought would be a good topic for today. This goes
Yeah,
for anything.
yeah. Nice topic.
Yeah, it's great. The This first question is: when you buy a digital movie or ebook, what are you actually purchasing if you don't possess a physical object and your access can be broken by the it's just like when you go to the library, you're going to borrow a book from the library, and then eventually you have to bring it. You don't get to keep the book from the library. So when you TV show like Netflix or Hulu or any other streaming platform, um, or you just go, like a Kindle, you don't get to keep that book. So all everything is starting to be a subscription base, and you're just constantly renting it over and over again per month. Um, and there's never like, and if you think about it, it kind of the money is spent adds up, and with all that money spent, it would have been cheaper to actually buy some of the movies and TV shows, or like if you have physical DVD copies, or if you were to buy a book, it'd been a lot easier. But for those that do read a lot, maybe like 80 books a year, if they have that time, um, maybe it would make more sense to have a e-reader, because I mean 80 books altogether would be pretty expensive. So so it just makes more sense to spend um, maybe like a few bucks per month, and then you have it. But you only just borrowing. You're never actually owning. What do you think, Marcelo?
Yeah, it's totally different because I think we have this kind of a relationship with the book, with the paper. It's like reading a newspaper, and nowadays you go to the internet and you can read a newspaper. The news are always fresh, and the newspaper in the past, I was I was in the I had the habit to receive through through daily they deliver some newspapers we call in Portuguese signature. It's like it's like something that you could pay monthly and receive every day the newspaper. It's already in use, but few people do that. But the paper was so ludic, so it's fantastic to turn the papers and the pages and read, and you can write down, you can make notes. And the book is the same. We are talking about a lot of things. So a book and digital movie and streaming and I am 65, so you can see that I was so accustomed to go to libraries and look for books, and it takes time. It's more faster today. People can learn faster than in the past. For instance, we are talking in English now through the internet, and in my time when I started to learn English, I was 17. Because when I was in the fundamental class, we had French, not English, and I've been in an English course called IBEU. It's an institute from Brazil, United States, and we had that board with so-called pen friends, people that you used to write letters through mail, traditional mail, and you 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 expect to receive the answer 3 months later. So it was so different from today, and I think we have this good moment that we have a lot of options. My kids, they use Kindle. They have a lot of books uh, in this kind of platform. I don't know how do they pay that. I think it's cheaper than a actual book, of course. But I like to buy books. I have a lot of books here. I have my library, and I read some pages when I go to bed, and that's something for me so interesting. Of course, I can use a PDF book, but it's not the same. The worst thing I think is a lot of options. It's different because, for instance, talking about movies. When I was a teenager or in the 80s, for instance, we had how many? 10, 10 good movies a year that you would go to the cinema. A lot of lines, and you have to. It's so interesting. And nowadays you have 10 movies a day. So it's very difficult. Sometimes I sit here to and I went in Netflix, and it's very difficult to choose a movie. It's different from the past. So we have this good part, and we have the worst part of that a lot of choices. We can be sometimes confused about what we are going to read. But in my opinion, I prefer to possess the book. It's like a ludic moment being with me. But I know that we can use all the platforms, all the all the system that we have today. That's it, Jared.
Yeah, I agree. I love the when I had a book, a physical book, and I had a bookmark that would keep track of the progress, and you can look at it on the shelf. And then I just love the idea of having a bookshelf, just like books all neatly put out, and you look at it like I read all that. It's like you can see everything that you read or will or going to read right in front of you. Uh, but with like stuff like on an e-reader, you don't you just see like books books after books. You don't really get to visualize it because it's all flat. So it's just look at the probably have some like on Kindles if you have a black and white cover and then you read the book and it's like you don't really see the actual physical book. It's um, However, I do remember that there's some books that appear more intimidating if you like if you're doing research or like doing something for university, and you have like a book that's like really really thick, and you're like, oh wow, I got to read all this uh, for this semester. But but then that's when like you have an e-reader. You just look at the percentage. You don't really think about it too much. Um, but yeah, there's different ways to look at it, but I really appreciate the physical books. I like they it's just and like especially those hardcover books with lots of art and color, and it's like, wow, that's someone spent time to make this beautiful cover, and you don't get to appreciate that when you have an e-reader. It's not true to the actual cover. You don't know what design. Every book has a different design to it, and it kind of gives you a story about of what you could be reading, whether it's like a scientific book or it's a or just a novel. You have there's like a or like a series of books. You look at it, and it just tells a story, and you get to miss that when with uh with digital books now. So I do miss that. Well, next question here is the shift from owning physical media, CDs, DVDs, books, to subscribing to streaming access services, Spotify, Netflix, Kindle, Unlimited, and net positive or net negative for consumers? Um, from my perspective, I see it that it's a I, it depends on how much you use it. If you watch a lot of TV shows, you have a lot of time for that. You know, well, it's amazing. You have everything you ever need right in front of you. Just you search it up and you can watch it, or look at their top 10, or look at the genres all organized. Um, However, it's just like you just imagine you just really want to watch something or just read something, but you just don't want to subscribe because it's a pretty hefty price tag. It's just it's like now you have to start thinking, should I just subscribe to this to get this, or should I actually find a way to like, should I go get like this book from a library, or they don't really have many stores that sell like DVDs or for TV shows, and all TV shows are now starting to be just digital only. There's no physical media, so we're starting to lose that choice, and now it's like your only option now is to get it from a streaming service, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a choice from between physical and and digital. It's now just digital. What do you think, Marcelo?
Well, Jared, I think it's something that they they realize a way to charge us monthly by something. Because in the past we didn't pay to see television. Now, of course, nowadays we have the internet, we have to pay the provider, but in the past we didn't have that. We, of course, our phone lines we spend a lot of money with phone calls because it was so expensive in the past. When you were supposed to make an international call, it was full. You can imagine about 1 minute 1 minute was about $5. I don't know. It was so. So of course, if you have an answer between positive or negative, it's positive. But I think it's something that it's happening in so many things. For instance, in software, for instance, you don't buy software anymore. You pay SaaS, software as a service. So you pay monthly. So the recurrency is the mood. They love recurrence because of course they receive monthly for your this is not a quote, they're not an installment. It's something that you pay for life. So it's something that you have to insert into your budget, in your orçamento. Wow, come on, I forgot the name in English. In your monthly expenses, and they are doing that for in many cases, but I don't know. I have a lot of CDs here. I have a lot of DVDs. I have a lot of VHS. You know, my friend, VHS was so incredible. You had to go to the store and to look for a movie, and you had to deliver the next day. If not, you where you had to pay a fine, and you have to rewind the tape, because if not you have to pay another fine. So it was so different from today. But yes, I think it's positive. I think it's positive because we have more tools now. It's like IA. It's like the smartphone. All the computers we have now. We are so connected. This is so incredible. If I had the chance to go back 30 years and use these tools, I would be the king of the world. So they are, we are. I am living this moment with you. This is I am so grateful for this. To I don't know if you realize how different we live in these moments. If you compare to your parents or to your grandparents, it's so different, and you have to be grateful and have to enjoy, and you have to use the tools to improve ourselves.
Well, yeah, we do need to use the tools to ourselves. And there's one fortunate thing to know is that there are people out there that have tried to make software for free. There are free software. However, it's not truly free because everything costs something, either time or some money. Like all the softwares, they have either, if they're not paid by subscriptions or ads, they're by donations. There's always something to make to keep the process going. And that's the thing with subscriptions. It's just that it's a it can be a net positive when you think about, okay, now you can use this service for a long time because they're constantly like keeping the servers up and you're paying for them. Because if you only buy something one time, well then when they have not enough money coming in from customers buying because they pretty much stagnated. There's not much you can sell anymore. Then, well, then the servers start to, you have no money to keep the servers going, so the servers get shut down. So you have to keep that subscription going over and over again because it's almost like you're rebuying, but you also get to keep that for a long time. Like, as far as I know, a lot of these streaming services could last 10 years, 20 years. They'll always be there. If you have a Kindle and you get books from Kindle store, you could keep those books for a long time, so long as you have storage, or if you have you stored it in their cloud services, and your like you'll always have it as long as you keep paying for it, and it won't really go away unless the server shut down. So you have to make sure the servers keep going. So that's the one good thing is like things don't really are not going to get you can kind of have a better idea how long something could last depending on how much money they're getting in the service. Well, question number 3 is discuss the statement, if you are not paying for the product, you are the project. How does this apply to data ownership on free social media and search platforms? Well, if I would say that if that not always the case. For example, I would say that in open source software, uh, you're not you're not really the product. I mean, you're just using it. Like people spend their time to develop the product, but they're not really getting much. They're not really getting any data from the users, and they're not selling that data to anyone else. So it's not always the case. How, however, I would say majority of the internet these days, it's just data being sold back and forth. Um, like our data is just everywhere now. Everyone knows who we are, so it's really hard to really just have a private internet these days. So there's not much you could do, but I mean, so I guess if you're not really paying for something, then yeah, you probably should expect that most of the time that you are having your data sold to someone else. What do you think, Marcelo?
Yeah, that's true, Jared. I think even if you pay for the service, they are using your data. It's happening now. It's not about pay or not to pay. It's about the way they use your data to know about your habits. What do you like? It's so amazing. It's like a huge CRM that we have among the internet, and I suspect that the smartphone they hear what you talk with your friends, because sometimes you talk about something and it happens to appear that travel, that place, that product, and it's so
The
fantastic.
ads or
I
sponsors like pop out of nowhere. I know what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so interesting because you search for something, just a product, just not to, well, uh, because you are curious about that, and then it happens to appear on the page, and sometimes it can makes it it can be even something that it's not okay because you can search for something and then it can appear to another person, and it can show what are you looking for in the internet. So it's an invasion for sure. They use that. It's so difficult. We've heard about meta problems that Zuckerberg he 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 confirmed, he confessed the 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 data that was not stolen, but they leaked the data from the database, and the I think he sold the data. I don't know what happened, but it happens. They run the world. That's for sure. Meta and Google and Apple. I think we have four platforms. X now with Elon Musk. Uh, of course, if you follow somebody and you are interested in something, it can link to a product and it can link to another thing. I don't know how long is the how huge is the problem, But I know for sure that we're being they are inviting ourselves in any way to know our habits and to sell products, of course, and to in a good mood, I think, in a good way. But sometimes if you go to China, for instance, to North Korea, they are using a bad in a bad way. They are using to search you. I don't know if you know. In Brazil, we're facing this problem about you don't have free of speech in Brazil in a lot of countries. I think even in England, in Europe also they are facing so many problems about being free to talk what you want, what you want to say. But this is something so complicated. But I think this statement is okay. I am the product when I don't pay, but I am the product anyway. If if paying for that, I am the product. That's it, Jed.
I mean, you're right. It's really everywhere these days. It's just we know data collecting and is a whole industry in its own that people get paid like so much money just so they could read every little piece of data about other people, like how long do they use their service, how many what days of the week, like they kind of can map out like when people are off work, their work hours. They have so many different metrics comparing with age groups, and it's just there's so many details that and it's everywhere. And they use that data to change the math of the algorithms they use to get people more their attention span and stuff like TikTok. It's mostly like those short form videos. It's mostly for a younger audience, and it just captures them and it keeps them rooted because they studied how like what they're like, and um, like what's the correct length of a video to keep people's attention before they click off. There's so much information being passed around, even like other countries. However, I know that in Europe they do have stricter laws with data collecting, and with that what they call GDPR. They make it where if you have a data of someone, you can only use it for yourself. You can't use it for other people, and you can't really sell it. It's and once you're done with it, you have to completely delete it. And every user has the right to what they quote unquote be forgotten. So it's in Europe they have more things figured out, while other places like US it's data is just passed down freely. No one really no one really cares. But that's usually how it is now. And yeah, other countries like China probably have more information, but it's the way it is. Well, next question is, do you believe individuals should have an inalienable right to own and control the personal data they generate? Why or why not? Well, going back to what I said about Europe's laws about data collecting, I think that's the right thing to do. I think we should have the right to say, "Hey, I don't want to be kept tracked. I want to be forgotten on this platform. I don't want you to keep it indefinitely." I think that's a good thing because it's kind of it's dangerous when you keep holding someone's data, and then you could use it to manipulate people. There's a lot of manipulative tactics to root people into their products, um, or they I mean, with AI it's especially dangerous like this because with that they could make AI videos of people, and it's just like now that your data's out there, they could get that data combined with like maybe videos online if you posted some, and uh, or if you were doing something. And it's just they have all this information. They could use it for nefarious purposes, and it's not. I think everyone should have the right of their own data, but I mean, there's also you have to understand what you're willing to give. So all those terms of service that you see at the beginning of using a product, they tell you um, what they're gonna what's the service about, and sometimes they tell you about like what they gonna track for you from you and what they will not track, and no one really reads those. I know no one does. It's always there, and people are just, oh, I'll just accept it and just move on, and then they give away all their data just like that. But what do you think, Marcelo?
The, of course, we have this is our data belong to us, so it it should remain with us. But even they say, even with law in Brazil, we have the LGPD. It's like the law in Europe. I think in the United States they have a law to control data. It's like the civil mark of the internet in Brazil. But what is the problem? You cannot audit that. That's the problem. You cannot enter the system. You cannot enter the computers. They are anywhere. They are abroad. They are in. They can. You can. You can. You can run the service from a foreign country that has another kind of law, and a lot of hackers, they came from, I don't know, Ukraine and Russia, and it's impossible for you to arrest that guy or to make any kind of sanction. But even talking about the companies in the United States, it's very difficult to audit because it's impossible for you to know what's happening, but what's really happening inside the system, and what are they doing with our data, if they are if they really it's like I can make an analogy with scientists, with the guy that works with it's not we don't talk about that anymore. I don't know why. The clones, a guy that is a scientist that makes clones and can duplicate humans. We have a lot of laws. It's forbidden, okay, no problem. But the guy is a scientist. He wants to do that. And it's so difficult for you to keep this guy under control, not to do that. No, I am going to make another man from this cell, and I don't know if we have this kind of people among us. I don't know, probably. And it's the same with the guy. Like this guy, these guys control the world. So what's going on inside Zuckerberg mind? I don't know if he is really a person that wants uh, to respect laws, and I don't know. I think he's more than that. Elon Musk wants to go to the moon, wants to go to Mars. uh, he made the rocket come back. So it's amazing. So it's very difficult. It's not a good thing, of course, but in another perspective, we can this kind of free platforms you can speech. Of course, they control. They can hide you in YouTube when they don't want you to be. They take off some views. I don't know how do they made, but they do that. But the positive thing is that we have voice. People have voice. You know what happened in Nepal, for instance. People have elected the new president through I don't know the name of the platform, Accord. I think it's Accord. They made an election through social media. It's amazing. It's more than a season of know things. It's something that is beyond any kind of law. So this is the positive thing. Of course, they can run, they can use our data in a bad way, but nowadays we can include we can ask if in few years we can vote through a platform with your facial recognition. You can vote for a candidate without papers, without, and of course you have to be the scrutiny. You have to be something to audit. That's the problem. But that's it. I think we, of course, we are the owners of our data, and it's inalienable, of course, but it's very difficult to control. I think we have this kind of challenge to solve.
Well, yeah, I think Pandora's box has already been opened in terms of it's already out there. It's hard to control. Data is already out there. Uh, I mean, yeah, they could probably implement laws to regulate it, but some nefarious people, the malicious people, are going to keep trying to use the data and try to use it for bad things. And of course, it's just you have to be careful what you're willing to give on the internet. Don't try not to share too much. Like people hack based off of uh, like for example, like when you try to make an account, it has those security questions, and people look at your like social media like, let me see if that would answer this security question. They get inside the accounts. It's very dangerous, and what people share, and people share are willing to share everything, but I don't think that's a good idea. Um, this next question is how have cryptocurrencies and non fungible tokens or NFTs challenged or reinforced traditional ideas of ownership, values, and authenticity? Um, well, cryptocurrencies are. Uh, I mean, I'm not going to go too deep on that one, but it's basically it's yeah. You have ownership of something that's ownership of a virtualized currency that I mean, and you can use it to in exchange for real money. For example, the popular Bitcoin everyone knows about. You could you people can own Bitcoin, but it's really hard to challenge to say that someone does not own that Bitcoin or you can't really take someone else's Bitcoin unless you I mean, you did some very big hacking situation, but like it's really hard to take some stuff like that away. So, I mean, I think it reinforces traditional ideas for ownership. However, NFTs, I don't think NFTs are a great example of ownership because, for example, there people talking about I have this NFT of this picture of a monkey. I'm like, and I'm like, I mean, it's just a picture. Anyone can just easily replicate that. You don't really own it. It's just you're paying all this money for something that doesn't seem like it holds much value, like unlike something like Bitcoin. So I don't think that. Yeah, I don't see how NFTs are just kind of like a. I think it's like a scam to trick people to think that they have ownership on something, but in reality you don't. It's just all digital like pictures and items, or like some platforms have these like digital avatars, and I don't know what that means, but like it doesn't. I don't think you really own that. What do you think, Marcelo?
Well, I don't have cryptos. I don't have bitcoins. Even though I wanted to have some, but I think this is something so strange and uh, this is another word. So the critic is about the fiat currency. Our fiat currency is the fiat that started with Nixon in 1973 when he stayed apart from the gold, the gold, how can I say the gold? Well, the amount of dollars they had to keep a amount of gold in the central bank. So for you to insert money or currency in the market, you had to see if there is enough gold for that. And in 1973, they started with this fiat money. The fiat money is something that you can create money by that. So it's like the United States. It's trillions and trillions and trillions, and I don't know the number. It's too much. And that's something that you have to believe. They give you the bill, $1 bill, and you have to believe that that $1 bill worth something. So if you go to another country, if you receive money from Peru, from Argentina, from Thailand, you receive a bill, you have to believe that that bill is worth something. And sometimes, depending on the inflation, you have to run to buy something because it's going to lose value, to lose power to buy something. And that's the question. The central banks, they belong to the governments, and they control what you want, they control you. I am talking about taxes. I am talking about savings, what you want to trade. You can buy something B2B or B2C or C2C. If you have money, if you have your local currency, they are able to know what's going on. And when you go to the cryptocurrency, that they won't see you because you are in another system. But this is something that I think it's worse than the fiat system because at least you have the government, you have a paper, a debt. You believe that the dollar worth something, and if you go to Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is the best, but you have a lot of cryptos, and you've seen the crash that we have last week or this week, I don't know.
Yeah,
Some cryptos they turn zero. And the Bitcoin itself has lost 20% of the value, I think so. And this is a problem. And they believe in this kind of currency. They do. The president of El Salvador started to use Bitcoin as the currency of the country. It's like Panama. Panama uses American dollars. They don't have their own currency. So this is something for me strange, but there is a logic beyond that. But I don't know if it's safe. I wouldn't change my my savings in cryptos. I don't know. And these NFTs, I have a picture here, an NFT of my son bought one in an NFT, and it's so amazing. And I don't know. It's of course it's an image, but they are so crazy to believe in this kind of, I don't know. It's like buying something in the Avatar's world. Like I am buying these lands with dollars. A land that, because there is no scarcity. That's the problem.
Bitcoin have scarcity. I mean, there's not many of them, but that's why they're valuable.
Yeah, that's it. So, why do we save in dollars? Because there is scarcity. So, of course, gold was the best. Gold was the best. So I don't know if we have abundance in dollars. That's what we are seeing now, and we can be aware of what's going on, because it's very difficult for us to. Even you are a young guy, so you must save something for your when you get older. So how do you intend to do that? Where are you going to put your money? So that's a problem, Jared.
Yeah, you're right. Where am I going to put my? I got to make the right investments now. um, well, I think that concludes all the questions. Marcel, what do you think about this whole conversation for this immersion?
Well, Jared, it was so nice. It's a dialogue, me and you here, just me and you. Okay, I was so pleased to be with you, and I hope we had a good conversation. For me, it was awesome, and
I
I
enjoyed
hope,
it.
yeah, we talk a lot of interesting questions, and we could think about a lot of things in a more, I think, a more profound way. That's a good question, and a good topic, and that's the meaning of this kind of immersion. Thank you very much, Jared.
Thank you, and I hope I see you next week. You have a good evening. All right.
Good evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.